जी।
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Professor Nageshwar Rao sir. Chief guest of today's seminar, Sri Sujit Kumar Bajpayee ji, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. Guest of honor, Professor R.C. Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Mahakaushal University, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. Pro-Vice Chancellors of IGNOU, Professor R.P. Das, Professor Satyakam, Professor Uma Kanjilal, Professor Sumitra Kukreti, Dr. S.K. Mohapatra, Professor M.S. Meena, all the directors, registrars, head of divisions, colleagues, students, and distinguished participants, Namaskar, a very good morning to you all. On behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University, it is indeed a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you all for National Seminar on Only One Earth being organized to commemorate the World Environment Day 2020. World Environment Day 2020 was celebrated on 5th June with Only One Earth as the theme, focusing on living sustainably in harmony with nature. Only One Earth was the slogan for the 1972 Stockholm Conference, which was the first World Conference for Human Environment and was committed to protecting the planet. But after 50 years also, we are far from succeeding, and we can no longer ignore the alarm bells that are ringing louder every day. United Nations theme for World Environment Day 2020, Only One Earth, it advocates for the transformative environmental change on a global scale. It basically gives emphasis on climate action, nature action, and pollution action, and encourages everyone, everywhere to live sustainably. The theme highlights that while our individual consumption choices do make a difference, it is a collective action that will create the transformative environmental changes we need. We all know that this planet is our only home. We are witnessing degraded ecosystem affecting billions of people, pollution responsible for premature deaths and other diseases, plant and animal species at the risk of extinction, climate impacts such as extreme heat, floods, and drought affecting everyone, drying of water resources, to name few of the environmental problems. So the celebration of this day and this seminar will definitely encourages us to safeguard the health of its atmosphere, the richness and biodiversity of life on Earth, its ecosystem and its resources, and maintaining a sustainable way of life. In this regard, the seminar aims to highlight the fact that a healthy environment is essential for all people and all 17 sustainable development goals which rely on a healthy planet. Earth provides us food, clean water, medicines, climate regulation, protection from extreme weather even. So it is very essential that we wisely manage nature and ensure equitable access to its services, especially for the most vulnerable people and community. So we must all take responsibility to avert the catastrophic being wrought by the environmental crisis. In this regard, women and girls in particular can be a forceful agent of change. Likewise, indigenous and traditional knowledge must also be respected and harnessed to help to protect our fragile ecosystem. Transformative changes can be brought through policies, cleaner and greener lifestyle with a sustainable living in harmony with nature. In this regard, our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, is showing a path forward to entire world by launching various initiatives for the protection of environment. June 5th, 2022 was such an historic occasion when he has launched the global initiative, Life Movement, that is lifestyle for environment. His idea is to promote an environmentally conscious lifestyle that focus on mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption. Here it is very pertinent to mention that the ancient text of India has always guided the word to have great respect for the natural world and the environment. The words of the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, and the Charak Samhita speaks of trees removing pollution. It talks about not disturbing the sky and the importance of forest to the strength of the state. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is of India, reflects in true sense the theme of this year's World Environment Day, that is Ek Hi Prithvi. So this seminar, this occasion, we are very much honored by the gracious presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nageshwar Rao, sir, and express our heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for your blessing and guidance for organizing this event. Under the guidance of Vice Chancellor, sir, school has taken proactive stance toward National Education Policy, NEP 2020, and exploring appropriate measures for its implementation. The school, under his visionary leadership, is offering 3 master's program related to environmental science or environment, that is MSc Environmental Science, MA in Environment and Occupational Health, and Masters of Art in Sustainability Science, and also other diplomas and certificate program in the area of climate change, waste management, biodiversity, ethics, migration, with a focus on environmental sustainability. We are honored and delighted by the gracious presence of today's chief guest, Shri Sujit Kumar Bajpayee ji, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, who has very kindly consented to share his vast knowledge and experience with us. It is a matter of great pleasure for all of us that he could find time to be with us in spite of his preoccupation. His presence today is a source of inspiration to IGNOU family, and so we feel overwhelmed and fortunate by your gracious presence. We warmly welcome you, sir. I take this opportunity to extend a very warm and cordial welcome to Professor R.C. Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Mahakaushal University, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, and sincerely thank him for sharing his experience on various sustainable practices for environmental conservation. I warmly welcome all the PVCs of IGNOU, directors, registrars, heads of division, IGNOU fraternity, and participant. I really hope that this seminar will sensitize us, motivate us all to become pro-planet and pro-people, and will encourage us to exchange best practices and will strengthen youth engagement to fight environmental challenges. With this word, I once again extend a very warm welcome to everyone, and I request now our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Satyakam sir, for his opening remark. Professor Satyakam sir.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर शची शाह जी, डायरेक्टर SOITS, आदरणीय कुलपति महोदय प्रोफेसर नागेश्वर राव जी, हमारे आज के सम्माननीय सदस्य श्री सुजीत कुमार बाजपेयी जी और प्रोफेसर R.C. मिश्रा जी, जिनका परिचय अभी प्रोफेसर शची शाह ने दिया। आपके आने से हमारा गौरव और हमारी गरिमा बढ़ी है और हम आज वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे के अवसर पर इस पृथ्वी के बारे में, जो हमारी माँ है, भारतीय परंपरा में हम धरती को अपनी माँ के रूप में स्वीकार करते हैं, उसके बारे में हम भारत माता के बारे में और पूरी पृथ्वी के बारे में, जो हमारी जिसमें मातृभावना होती है, उसको हम लोग नमस्कार करते हैं। उसके बारे में, उसे संजीवनी देने के बारे में, उसे स्वस्थ रखने के बारे में, उसे कैसे हम अपने साथ, अपने जीवन के साथ जोड़कर देख सकते हैं, उसके बारे में आज निश्चित रूप से हमें कई ज्ञान के सूत्र और कई दिशा निर्देश मिलेंगे, और ये जरूरी है कि जब हम साथ में बैठकर इस तरह के कार्यक्रम आयोजित करते हैं तो हमारे जो हमारी जो चक्षु है, हमारे जो विचार पटल हैं, वो खुलते हैं और हमें एक निश्चित रूप से एक ऊर्जा आती है। इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय आरंभ से ही एनवायरनमेंट के प्रति बहुत ही सचेत और बहुत ही स्पंदित रहा है और बहुत संवेदनशील रहा है। न केवल कई विद्यापीठों द्वारा एनवायरनमेंट पर अलग अलग नजरिए से और विजन से पाठ्यक्रम शुरू किए गए हैं, जैसा कि अभी आपको प्रोफेसर शची शाह जी ने बताया कि केवल SOITS में ही कई कार्यक्रम स्नातकोत्तर स्तर के और डिप्लोमा स्तर के विद्यार्थियों को उपलब्ध कराए गए हैं। ये मात्र एक पाठ्यक्रम या कार्यक्रम ही, अकादमिक कार्यक्रम ही नहीं है, बल्कि एक सचेतनता जो हमारे विद्यार्थियों में होनी चाहिए, जो इस पृथ्वी को बचाने के लिए, सहभागिता के लिए जो एक मानसिक उद्वेलन होना चाहिए, वह मानसिक उद्वेलन लोगों में हो, लोग सचेत हों, और जो कोई भी इग्नू परिसर कभी भ्रमण करता है या यहाँ आता है तो यहाँ के पर्यावरण को देखकर आह्लादित हो उठता है, क्योंकि आरंभ से ही इग्नू की स्थापना से ही, जब से इस कैंपस का निर्माण हुआ, हम सब ने मिलके ये प्रयास किया कि इग्नू हरा भरा रहे और एक ग्रीन कैंपस हो। तो आज हमारा ग्रीन कैंपस है। यही नहीं, हम जल के प्रवाह को बचाने की भी कोशिश करते हैं। हम जो भी जल का उपयोग करते हैं वह जल ट्रीट होकर फिर हमारे पास लौटता है और उससे हमारे यहाँ सिंचाई होती है, पेड़ पौधों को जीवन देने में मदद मिलती है। इसके साथ साथ इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय में सौर ऊर्जा का भी निष्पादन किया गया है, जिससे कि हमारे जो बिजली है वो बिजली बचे और वो भी जो हमारी पृथ्वी को संरक्षित करने में मदद करती है। इस प्रकार एक विश्वविद्यालय के रूप में हम और हमारे सारे साथी इस बात के लिए लगातार प्रयत्नशील हैं कि हम एक ऐसा मॉडल, ऐसा प्रेरणा स्रोत बने जिससे आगे भी लोगों को एक प्रेरणा मिले कि सारी पृथ्वी को हमें हरा भरा बनाना है। जिस भारतीय परंपरा की बात प्रोफेसर शची शाह ने कही, देखिए भारतीय परंपरा में प्रकृति और मनुष्य कभी अलग नहीं रहा, और यहाँ पुरुष और प्रकृति की बात आरंभ से की गई है। यानी कि जो सृष्टि है और सृष्टि का उत्थान है, उसमें बिना प्रकृति के कुछ भी आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता। तो इसलिए आज हम इस पर विचार कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि इस पर विचार पहले नहीं किया गया है, बल्कि वृक्षों को बचाने के लिए, पशु पक्षियों को बचाने के लिए अनेक धर्म, नियम, कानून, विधि बने हुए थे। जैसे पीपल के पेड़ को नहीं काटना है, किसी वृक्ष को रात में नहीं काटना है, किसी पशु पक्षियों की रक्षा करनी है। ये जो सब नियम हमारी भारतीय परंपरा में लगातार बनाए गए हैं, उसकी प्रेरणा और उसका ज्ञान, उसका प्रबोधन हमें अपने विद्यार्थियों को देना है। हम दे रहे हैं, और प्रोफेसर शची शाह के नेतृत्व में जो विद्यापीठ है वह भी इस तरह के कार्यक्रम लगातार बना रहा है। और मैं बधाई देता हूं कि आपने इतना सुनियोजित और इतना सुंदर कार्यक्रम किया और इतने प्रबुद्ध जनों को बुलाया, जिनको सुनने के लिए हम आतुर हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मैं सबको प्रणाम करता हूं, अपने सभी समकुलपति साथियों को, सभी निदेशकों को और शिक्षक बंधुओं को और जो भी इस कार्यक्रम को प्रत्यक्ष या परोक्ष रूप में सुन रहे हैं उन सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मुझे बोलने का अवसर देने के।
मैं प्रोफेसर सत्यकाम सर के ओजस्वी एंड पथ प्रदर्शक वक्तव्य के लिए उनका आभार प्रकट करती हूँ और सर को विश्वास दिलाती हूँ कि हम उनके बताए हुए मार्ग पर चलेंगे और इस विद्यापीठ को और यूनिवर्सिटी को पूरी कोशिश के साथ जो भी हमसे हो पड़े, हमारे विद्यापीठ से हो पड़े, वो करने की कोशिश करेंगे। Now, I take this opportunity to invite chief guest of today's seminar, Shri Sujit Kumar Bajpayee ji, who is Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, for his address. But before that, I would like to invite Dr. Diksha Dave to share his brief with the August gathering. Sir has worked extensively for planning the new hydropower project from environment and forest angle, and he has worked extensively in implementing and monitoring various environmental safeguards stipulated by the government. I request Dr. Diksha Dave to please introduce him to the August gathering. Dr. Diksha Dave, please.
Thank you, Madam. Our chief guest of today's program, respected Shri Sujit Kumar Bajpayee ji, is a Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Prior to this, Sir was working as Manager Environment at National Hydroelectric Power Corporation Limited. As stated by Madam, Shri Bajpayee ji has been involved in planning various hydroelectric projects from environment point of view and has played key role in providing clearance from the ministry. Along with this, he has been in charge of implementation, monitoring of various environmental safeguards, which has been given and guided by the government. He has been known diligently for providing advice on enviro-legal issues. And I would also like to tell all of you that he is the younger brother of the famous actor, Shri Manoj Bajpayee ji. Sir, it is an honest, absolute honor for us to have you here. And we are delighted by your presence. I request you to share your experience and the vast knowledge with us.
Thank you very much for introducing me. Respected Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, Professor Nageshwar Rao ji, guest of honor of this program and respected Vice Chancellor of Mahakoshal University, Jabalpur, Professor R.C. Mishra ji, respected Pro-Vice Chancellor of IGNOU, Professor Satyakam ji, Director of School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, Professor Shachi Shah ji, all faculty members and students who are connected virtually to this program. First of all, a very good morning to everyone and best wishes for the World Environment Day, which from the Indian time was celebrated yesterday. But as we are speaking, in some part of the world still is being celebrated, the part of the world which are behind us in the time zone. So it is indeed a pleasure for me to address you all on this occasion. And it's very, very humbling for me to be amongst IGNOU family, which has become a synonym of easy access to education for all strata of society. And that is why it's truly called a People's University. So thanks a lot for having me here, first of all. So as you all know that World Environment Day, excuse me, just. Yeah, excuse me. So as you all know that this day is celebrated every year on 5th June. The basic idea for celebration is to create worldwide awareness and to protect our environment. So first, as we know that Professor Shachi Shah also gave a background that first time it was held in 1972 as a follow-up of the Stockholm Conference, which was held in 1972. So from 1973, we have been celebrating this every year. And now it is the largest global environmental event with millions of people in more than 150 countries participating and engaging with the different communities to create awareness about environmental protection, environmental action. So it's basically platform for action. And it's the People's Day in the People's University we are celebrating today. So it's a great thing to do it today. So in view of the burgeoning crisis of the world environment, the first United Nations conference, which was held in 1972 on 5th June, that started on 5th June. So that is why we celebrate Environment Day on 5th June. At the end of the conference, it adopted around 26 principles to protect environment. So this was the first time when the world realized the need to discuss about the environmental issues actually. Before that, nobody was discussing environmental issues as a global stage. So first time United Nations felt that no, we should start discussion about environmental issues. And the theme was only one Earth. So as Professor Sachi said that still after 50 years, that theme remains relevant. And I think we have beaten around bush in last 50 years and just to reach at the same place to realize that no, only one Earth. So now it's time for action. A lot of time has been spent in talking, discussing. And Sweden also is hosting an international conference, which is called Stockholm Plus 50 to accelerate climate action now. And this is going to be 50th years of formation of United Nations Environment Program also. So in spite of billions of galaxies and galaxies, billions of planets, after 50 years, again, we realize that's only one Earth. So it calls for now transformative changes to policies, choices which will enable cleaner, greener, and sustainable living in harmony with nature. So now we are completely, we are going to go all out to focus on the need to live sustainably in harmony with nature. So what do we mean by that? We mean by that we should understand and respect the ecosystems and the intricate relations between each component of the ecosystems. And accordingly, we should transform our economies, our societies to make them inclusive, fair, which are more connected with nature. So the core intention remains the same. That is, ultimately, we have to preserve and conserve the environment without compromising the need of the future generation, which our Rashtrapita said long back. So while economic growth since the Industrial Revolution has granted granted countries with greater prosperity, but we should also know that it has come at a huge cost to the environment. The path to development followed by most of the developed nations during the course of history has been really ruthless. It has actually led to excessive consumption of resources, both at home and in subjugate colonies. This included destroying forests at home and in the colonies, and pollution of the environment everywhere for creating wealth and well-being. Even today, it is the unsustainable lifestyles of the developed nations that is putting the whole world at risk without realizing that the whole world is one. At Paris, India took the lead and gave the concept of sustainable lifestyles and climate justice, both of which found a place in the preamble of Paris Agreement. Subsequently, reaffirming our commitment to the success of the agreement, the Honorable Prime Minister announced steady increases in our domestic efforts to harness renewable energy. India has been in the lead in ramping up ambitions to meet the Paris Agreement goals. At COP26, as the implementation of the Paris Agreement began, India reassured the world yet again, conveying our Panchamrit to the world, including the goal of net zero by 2070 and the one-word mantra of life, that is lifestyle for environment. All these concepts draw from India's age-old cultural tradition of reverence for Mother Nature, and constant reminder to humanity that repercussion of climate change would not differentiate between rich and poor, developed and developing. It is a fact that both environment and development are just two sides of the same coin and must proceed hand in hand. But our utilization of resources must be based on mindful and deliberate utilization and not mindless and destructive consumption. So the goal of life that our Honorable Prime Minister unveiled at COP26 at Glasgow, and a global call for action on the same was launched yesterday on the occasion of World Environment Day. That should be actually adopted by the world if we want to safeguard humanity and the planet. So in this testing times of post-COVID era, the world stands at a crossroads today. On the one hand, there is a formidable challenge of alleviating poverty and reducing hunger, as also of promoting inclusive education and health for all. At the same time, we have to maintain the ecological health of the planet. So hence the role of our country becomes even more complicated, as we have been blessed with a highly diverse environment comprising some of the world's most biodiverse ecozones, along with the presence of very high natural resource dependent communities in our region. India represents a culture where the earth is our mother and we are the children. India has long history and tradition of harmonious coexistence between man and the nature. India regards flora and fauna as part of their family and worship them. This we inherited from our ancestors. We manifest this culture in our lifestyles and traditional practices. Environmental sustainability, which involves generational, intragenerational, as well as intergenerational equity, has been the approach of India for a very, very long time. Much before climate change debate began, the father of our nation said, we should act as trustees and use our natural resources wisely to conserve and save it for our future generation. So as you all know that due to our strong connection, this very strong connection to nature, with just 2.4% of land mass, we have around 8% of the biodiversity. And it is this connection which has also been yielding fruits in terms of increase in number of tigers, lions, and leopard, and so on and so forth. So, but in such a scenario, when you have such a huge biodiversity, but you have, people's aspirations, to grow. So how do we ensure that our legitimate developmental aspirations get fulfilled? So in pursuance of achieving our goal of sustainable development, Ministry has formulated a transparent and efficient mechanism for the sustainable development of developmental projects, along with adequate handling of the environmental concerns through the environmental impact assessment notification, which is amended from time to time to cater to the rapidly changing situations. Further, efforts are being made in every sector to ensure that growth takes place, but with due care to environment. Various initiatives taken in this regard by the ministry and the government are testimony to our commitment towards Mother Earth. India's nationally determined contributions are ambitious, and they make a significant contribution towards achieving the temperature goals of Paris Agreement. The government is implementing National Action Plan on Climate Change, which is the overarching policy framework and comprises of national missions in specific areas of solar energy, enhanced energy efficiency, water, agriculture, and so on and so forth. Now, as far as emission reduction is concerned, India has already achieved reduction of 24% in emission intensity of its GDP between 2005 and 2016, thereby achieving its pre-2020 voluntary target well before time. Further, as per the Kigali Amendment, India will complete its phase down of hydrofluorocarbon in 4 steps from 2032 onwards, with cumulative reduction of 85% of production and consumption of HFCs in 2047. The HFC phase down is expected to prevent emissions of up to 105 million tons of CO2 equivalent, helping to avoid 0.5 degrees Celsius of global temperature rise by 2100, while continuing to protect the ozone layer. As far as non-fossil fuel-based energy capacity is concerned, India stands fourth in terms of installed renewable energy capacity, fourth in terms of wind installed capacity, and fifth in terms of solar installed capacity. India's current renewable energy capacity, including the large hydro, is around 156.6 gigawatts, which is around 39% of the country's total capacity. India has already achieved more than 40%. It is 41% as of March 2022 of its non-fossil fuel-based installed capacity. India's annual renewable energy addition has been exceeding that of coal-based thermal power since 2017. And in last 7.5 years, India has installed renewable energy capacities has increased by more than 285%. So it's a huge development. If I talk about forestry, under National Mission for a Green India, an area of 1.96 lakh hectare has been restored in 16 states of the country. India's total forest and tree cover, as reported in India's State of the Forest Report 2021, is 8,09,537 square kilometers, which is 24.62% of the total geographical area of the country. As far as sustainable transport is concerned, Government of India is promoting shift to use of public transport in urban areas, which will be completed by clean technology and governance solutions, special mobility zones with zero fossil fuel policy and electric vehicles. India is one of the member countries of the Electric Vehicle Initiatives, EVI, which is a multi-government policy forum dedicated to accelerating the introduction and adoption of electrical vehicles worldwide. You will also be happy to know that India leapfrogged from Bharat Stage 4 to Bharat Stage 6 emission norms by April 1, 2020, which was earlier to be adopted by 2024. Again, as Prime Minister announced yesterday that we have already achieved the 10% blending of ethanol in the petrol. The already Government of India has set the target for 20%, which was earlier to be achieved by 2030, but now that target has been, further advanced to 2025. So after achieving the 10% target yesterday, India is poised to take a big jump by achieving 20% blending in 2025. So that is going to save a lot of carbon emissions, prevent emissions, save foreign currency. There are other initiatives also that India has been emphasizing on circular economy on 3 R's. India has already prepared action plans for circular economy in 10 sectors, including electronic waste, end-of-life vehicles, used oil waste, and toxic and hazardous industrial waste. So now the focus is on being laid on addressing important cross-cutting issues of infrastructure, reverse logistics, technology upgradation, and integration with informal sector. So therefore, all the above steps reiterate the commitment at the highest level for tackling the problem at hand. Honorable PM says that let us pledge to collectively work towards conserving precious environmental resources. Let us live in harmony with nature and keep our beloved earth clean and green. At Climate Summit, as we all know, he called for the global community to pledge for one word, mass movement. That life, and yesterday he has given call for action. So finally, if I say that if I talk to the youth of the country, of the IGNU family, that let us make this life, the call for the action, a mass movement, and pledge to collectively work towards conserving precious environment resources. Let us live in harmony with nature and keep our beloved earth clean and green. Let us practice mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption, because we have only one planet. So if this pandemic has taught us anything about how to overcome our socio-environmental challenges, it is that each one of us, as individuals, companies, or governments, needs to take ownership of our future. Being a spectator is no longer an option. With these words, I wish everyone who is connected and everyone in the country here a sustainable and successful future ahead. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for the informative session. And you have truly highlighted the importance of sustainable lifestyle and also the consequences of not following the rules of nature. And sir, it is also good to know that it is not always green versus growth, but it has to be green plus growth. That we can know by the initiatives of the government. And sir, we at IGNOU will definitely make environment protection a mass movement through our programs, through our initiatives. Thank you so much, sir, once again for that informative session. Our next speaker, our guest of honor for today is Professor R.C. Mishra ji, Vice Chancellor, Mahakaushal University, Jabalpur. Professor Mishra ji is a noted researcher and academician having several years of experience. He has been recipient of various professional awards, fellowships, and a lot of recognitions sir is having, and he has worked extensively in the field of biotechnology. Particularly, he has played a key role in biopesticide formulation. And to add more, he has several patents to his credit. Sir, it is honor for us, and we would like to listen to you and to have your word on the important issues of environment on this occasion.
Thank you, Dave ma'am, for nice words. सबसे पहले मैं डॉक्टर सची शाह को धन्यवाद दूंगा. She invited me on this platform. We were both in Pannagar. दूसरे मैं सबसे पहले अपने बड़े भाई वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर नागेश्वर राव सर को प्रणाम करता हूं. सर, आपका आशीर्वाद मुझे प्रयागराज से मिलता चला आ रहा है, और टुडे आई एम लकी कि आज फिर आपसे इस वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म पे मुलाकात हो रही है. जैसा कि ये जो थीम है इस सेमिनार की, ओनली वन अर्थ, बेसिकली इन्वायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन की बात आती है. विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एग्रीकल्चर एंड एनवायरमेंट, लेट मी स्टार्ट विद द begging bowl image of our country at the time of independence. जब देश आजाद हुआ हमारा, तो इसे सपेरों का और भीख मांगने वालों के देश के नाम से जाना जाता था. आपको बताऊं, अगर आजादी के समय आप यूं समझें कि हमारे देश की जो पॉपुलेशन थी 36 करोड़ थी, तो आज, और वो एक भारत था, दैट वाज वन इंडिया, तो आज इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन 4 भारत हो गया. मींस पॉपुलेशन हमारी 4 टाइम्स बढ़ गई. बट एट द सेम टाइम जब हम बात करते हैं एग्रीकल्चर की, हमारे फार्मर्स के कंट्रीब्यूशन की, तो अगर आजादी के समय 1 किलोग्राम अनाज होता था, तो आज लगभग 5.8 केजी हो रहा. मतलब फूड प्रोडक्शन लगभग हमने 6 गुना किया. आजादी के समय अगर 1 लीटर दूध हमारे देश में होता, तो आज लगभग 10 लीटर हो रहा, 10 गुना इन डेयरी फील्ड. थैंक्स टू लेट प्रोफेसर वर्गीस कुरियन, व्हाइट रेवोल्यूशन, व्हाइट फ्लड, हमने इसको अचीव किया. आजादी के समय अगर 1 अंडा हमारे देश में उत्पादित होता था, तो आज लगभग 28 अंडे हो रहे, 28 टाइम्स. तो एग्रीकल्चर के और एनिमल हस्बेंड्री के हर सेक्टर में हमारे देश के किसानों ने, साइंटिस्ट ने जबरदस्त मेहनत की. आप याद करेंगे पंडित लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी का, जब उन्होंने नारा दिया था जय जवान जय विज्ञान जय किसान की बात आई, तो इनिशियली हमारे देश में एग्रीकल्चरल प्रोडक्शन बहुत कम था. हम आज इन्वायरमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, तो आज कहां से किसान दोषी है, हाउ वी कैन हील इट, हम इसको कैसे इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं, हम उस पर चर्चा करेंगे. लेकिन हमें थोड़ा सा पीछे जाना होगा. हमें इन्वायरमेंट को समझना है कि कैसे, कहां गलती की हमने. आप देखें, आज के 40 साल पहले अगर जाए उस दौर में, तो गांव में मिट्टी के मकान हुआ करते थे, हर गांव में एक सरोवर या तालाब हुआ करता था, और हर साल उस तालाब की रिसाइकलिंग हो जाती, उसको रिचार्ज किया जाता था, क्योंकि उसी तालाब की मिट्टी से वो मिट्टी के मकानों का रंग रोगन किया जाता, तो गांव में पानी की समस्या नहीं होती थी। अमूमन हर दरवाजे पे एक जोड़ी दो जोड़ी बैल होते थे, पशुधन होता था, वो गोबर होता था, उसकी खाद होती थी, हम खेतों में ले जाते थे और शुद्ध ऑर्गेनिक प्रोड्यूस हमारे घर आता था। इन द मीन टाइम चूंकि हमें प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना था, तो केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर सबसे पहले हमारे देश में आए 50 और 60 के दशक में, यूरिया। और आपको बताऊं, हमारे बुजुर्ग लोग बताते हैं, हमारे सीनियर साइंटिस्ट बताते हैं कि इनिशियली 100% सब्सिडी वाज गिवन बाय द इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ऑन द यूज ऑफ यूरिया फर्टिलाइजर, लेकिन किसान जो है खेतों में यूरिया नहीं डालते थे। जैसे अंग्रेजों ने हमें चाय की लत दे दी, तो ब्लॉक के लोग क्या करते थे, रात के अंधेरों में खेतों में यूरिया डाल के चले जाते थे, और जब 4-5 दिन के बाद फसल में ग्रोथ अचानक से बढ़ती थी, तो वो आगे किसान को कहते थे कि हमने यूरिया डाल दिया था इसलिए बड़ा हुआ। आदत डाली गई, वो जरूरत थी, वक्त की जरूरत थी। 60 और 70 के दशक में जब ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन की शुरुआत हुई विद द एबल लीडरशिप ऑफ प्रोफेसर MS स्वामीनाथन, मैक्सिकन व्हीट ब्रीडर थे डॉक्टर नॉर्मन एडवर्ड बोरलॉग, जिन्होंने ड्वार्फ व्हीट वेराइटीज डेवलप की थी, और फिर स्वामीनाथन साहब ने IRI में इंडियन इकोसिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंग ड्वार्फ व्हीट डेवलप किए। तो जब हरित क्रांति का दौर आया, तो अन्न का उत्पादन तो हमारे देश में बढ़ा, बट जो भी ये सेमी ड्वार्फ और हाई यील्डिंग वेराइटीज थी, दे वेर फर्टिलाइजर सेंसिटिव, दे नीड मोर एंड मोर फर्टिलाइजर। तो धीरे धीरे हमारे देश की मिट्टी में, मदर अर्थ में फर्टिलाइजर, केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर ऐड होना शुरू हुआ। फिर 80 का दशक आया, we need more and more food grains to fulfill our growing population, as well as for the export, so that we can have some foreign money. तो 80 और 90 के दशक में हमारे देश के जितने भी ब्रीडर्स थे, they developed high yielding varieties, hybrid varieties, cross varieties, and they were more and more sensitive to different kind of diseases and pests. तो 90 के दशक में फिर हमारे देश में धीरे से पेस्टिसाइड का आगमन हुआ, and due to indiscriminate use of pesticide, we have not only polluted our air, water and soil, but also polluted natural resources, health related issues. अब पिछले हफ्ते की बात करूं मैं, टर्की ने हमारा गेहूं का एक कंसाइनमेंट वापस कर दिया, ये बोलते हुए इट हैज मोर देन परमिसिबल लिमिट ऑफ इंसेक्टिसाइड। पूरी दुनिया में हमारी बदनामी हुई, पिछले हफ्ते की बात है। अभी पिछले हफ्ते एक दूसरी प्रॉब्लम आई कि अभी आपने श्रीलंका की कंडीशन देखी है, इस समय वहां पे क्या चल रहा है। तो एक वरदान बन के आया, हमारे यहाँ के काफी ग्रोवर ने बहुत ज्यादा कॉफी प्रोड्यूस किया था और हमने करीब 7-8 देशों को एक्सपोर्ट किया, बट लास्ट वीक उन लोगों ने हमारा कॉफी का कंसाइनमेंट ये कहते हुए वापस किया, इट हैज मोर पेस्टिसाइड। हम जा कहां रहे हैं? बात हम सस्टेनेबिलिटी की करते हैं, एट व्हाट कास्ट? एट द कास्ट ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट। ये पर्यावरण जिसके बिना किसी भी जीव का बचना संभव नहीं। प्रोफेसर सची शाह ने सही कहा कि हमारा जो वैदिक पीरियड था, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, हम तो पूरी धरा को अपना मान के चलते, परिवार मान के चलते। और मैं बताऊं आपको, सिर्फ किसान ही नहीं रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं, एग्रीकल्चर में ये जो सॉइल को हम पल्यूट कर रहे, शहर के लोग कम रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है। समस्या कहां थी मैं बताऊं आपको। शहर में जब आप मकान बनाते हैं, शहरों में हर आदमी का, हर परिवार का सपना होता है कि उसका अपना एक मकान हो, लेकिन मकान बनाते समय नींव में दीमक न लगे उसके लिए केमिकल ट्रीटमेंट किया जाता है। ग्रुप ऑफ ऑर्गेनोफॉस्फेट्स से क्लोरोपाइरीफॉस, आपको बता दूं इसकी उम्र 20 साल से ज्यादा होता है, ये एज सच पड़ा रहता है। होता क्या, जब हम शहर में मकान बनाते हैं हर चीज में कंजूसी कर लेंगे, लेकिन पत्नी और माँ घर के लोग बोलते हैं कि नींव में दवा थोड़ा सा ज्यादा डाल दो जैसे कोई प्रॉब्लम। तो जो शहरों में भी ये इस तरह के केमिकल्स यूज हो रहे हैं, वो दे परकोलेट्स डाउन एंड दे बिकम्स द पार्ट ऑफ वाटर टेबल, चाहे वो नाइट्रेट फर्टिलाइजर्स। और वही वाटर जब हम पीते हैं तो हमें ब्लू बेबी डिजीज, दैट इज मिथेनोग्लोबिनेमिया, ये प्रॉब्लम आती है। डायबिटीज है, several other health issues amongst animals and human being। मैं बताऊं, मैं किसानों को ट्रेनिंग देने जाता हूं। प्रोफेसर सची, आपको बताऊं, मैं अभी पिछले साल की एक एनसीआर की घटना बताऊं, आप लोगों को तो ज्यादा अलर्ट रहने की जरूरत है। पूरे के पूरे एनसीआर रीजन में जो कल्टीवेटर्स हैं, ग्रोवर्स हैं, वो क्या काम करते हैं, जैसे लौकी है, तरबूज है, जैसे छोटा सा उसमें फ्रूट लगता है तो ऑक्सीटोसिन का इंजेक्शन जो हम भैंस को, गाय को देते हैं, कैटल्स को देते हैं मिल्किंग के लिए, वो एक बूंद ऑक्सीटोसिन का इंजेक्शन दे देते हैं, 24 से 48 घंटे में लौकी की साइज 4 गुना बड़ा हो जाएगा, तरबूज 15 से 20 किलो का हो जाएगा। और एनसीआर में आपको मालूम है लौकी और ये सब तौल के रेट से बिकता। आप जहर खा रहे हैं। आप कहीं की भी बात कर लीजिए, सिर्फ एनसीआर ही नहीं, अब तो पूरे देश में किसान इतना इंटेलिजेंट है, वो अपने खाने के लिए जो आलू, गेहूं, चावल पैदा करेगा, वो कोशिश करता है कि ऑर्गेनिक तरीके से करे, गोबर की खाद डाल के करे। और बाकी सब में वो क्या काम करता है, एक्सेस पेस्टिसाइड यूज करता है, और उसमें भी इमीडिएट रिजल्ट चाहता है। तो एमंग्स द वर्ड ऑफ पेस्टिसाइड्स, साइपरमेथिलीन को हम लोग बोलते हैं, इट एक्ट्स एज एटॉमिक आर्सेनल्स, परमाणु बम की तरह होते हैं जो लास्ट में यूज करने चाहिए। लेकिन किसान जल्दी रिजल्ट पाने के लिए, क्योंकि उनको मार्केट देखना होता है, सब शुरू में ही साइपरमेथिलीन और जितने भी मोर टॉक्सिक पेस्टिसाइड्स उनको यूज करता है। जिसकी वजह से आपको बताऊं, हमारे देश में 86% एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड का जो यूज है वो चेंज हो गया। सॉइल इज पोल्यूटेड। हम ऑर्गेनिक की बात करते हैं, बड़ी सिंपल सी चीज है, बोलने में सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग। बट आज अगर पूरी दुनिया के किसान तैयार हो जाए, ओके कल से हम लोग पेस्टिसाइड्स, केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर यूज करना बंद कर देंगे, प्लीज प्रोवाइड मी ऑर्गेनिक मैन्योर, हमें केचुए की खाद, हमें बायो पेस्टिसाइड, बायो फर्टिलाइजर, क्या हम उपलब्ध करा पाएंगे? वी कांट। पूरी दुनिया की टोटल डिमांड का 10% भी नहीं हम प्रोवाइड कर पाएंगे आज की डेट में। इसीलिए हम बात करते हैं जब सस्टेनेबिलिटी की, तो हम ये कहते हैं कि ओके, अभी हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आह्वान किया था विश्वविद्यालयों को, जितने भी हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, कि हर विश्वविद्यालय और हायर HEIs 5-5 गांव को गोद लें, उनको एज ए बायो विलेज। हम लोगों ने यहाँ एडॉप्ट किया जबलपुर, ये महाकौशल प्रांत कहा जाता था पहले। वहां जाके हम किसानों को समझाते हैं कि ऐसा मत करिए कि आप एक्सेसिव अंधाधुंध पेस्टिसाइड्स, फर्टिलाइजर यूज करते रहिए, तो एक दिन धीरे 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 धरती बंजर होने लगेगी। उनको हम ट्रेन करते हैं कैसे, जुडिशियस यूज ऑफ केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर, बायो फर्टिलाइजर as well as IPM practices, so that we can produce enough food grain for the requirement of present generation as well as for future without altering the quality of soil. यही एक जरिया हो सकता है कि हम धीरे धीरे ऑर्गेनिक की तरफ बढ़े, केमिकल्स का यूज कम कराएं। अभी देखिए हमारे देश के एक हम संत ही कहेंगे, सदगुरु जी, एक मुहिम उन्होंने चला रखी है, सेव द सॉइल। लेकिन हमें किसानों के बीच में जाना है, जन जागरण। दूसरा में अगर अनाज की बात करें तो एग्रीकल्चर में डाइवर्सिफिकेशन की भी बहुत जरूरत है। एनफ मक्का हम मोर देन एनफ प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, गेहूं चावल हम मोर देन एनफ प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं। अब जरूरत आन पड़ी है हमें उस सेक्टर के बारे में वर्क करने की जिसमें हमारा फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट ज्यादा होता है। हम बात कर रहे हैं ऑयल सीड क्रॉप्स की, हम बात कर रहे हैं पल्सेस की। सो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन अमंग एग्रीकल्चरल इकोसिस्टम वो बहुत जरूरी है। हमें पुराने अनाजों की तरफ जाना पड़ेगा जो ट्रेडिशनल होते थे। कोदो है, सावा चावल है, बहुत से ऐसे ट्रेडिशनल सीरियल्स थे जो पहाड़ों पे देखिए कितने होते थे। लेकिन अब वहां भी लोग धीरे धीरे सब जो हाई यील्डिंग वैरायटीज हैं उन्हीं को प्रिफर कर रहे हैं। हम देखिए बात कर लें अगर एग्रीकल्चर में, तो ये दौर जो इस समय चल रहा है ये इट मस्ट बी एवर ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन। ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन आया, उसके बाद ग्रे ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन आया, बट इस समय जो दुनिया में जो स्लोगन चल रहा है एग्रीकल्चर के लिए, दैट इज एवर ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन। मीन्स हमें प्रेजेंट जनरेशन नहीं, फ्यूचर जनरेशन के बारे में सोचते हुए सॉइल और इन्वायरमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करते हुए ही एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर में ग्रोथ के बारे में सोचना। आज भटिंडा चले जाइए, भटिंडा से एक ट्रेन जाती है बॉम्बे, उसका नाम ही कैंसर एक्सप्रेस रखा गया। जलंधर चले जाइए, 34 गांव ऐसे हैं जहां की मिट्टी इतना टॉक्सिक हो गई है कि वहां के लोग जो भी अन्न प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, जो भी वहां डेयरी मिल्क होता है, दे नेवर यूज टू कंज्यूम इट। वो जाते हैं शहर में उसको बेच देते हैं, अपने खाने के लिए वो दूसरे शहरों से ले आ रहे। पंजाब विच वॉज द सिंबल ऑफ ग्रोथ इन इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर आज के 10 साल पहले, अगले 10 साल बाद पंजाब की हालत सबसे बेकार होने जा रही है अगर हमने इमीडिएट एक्शन नहीं लिया, अगर हमने लोगों को जागरूक करना नहीं सीखा, हमने पर्यावरण संरक्षण के बारे में उन्हें नहीं सिखाया। अगर प्रोडक्शन करिए एट व्हाट कास्ट। और ये जो पेस्टिसाइड्स होते हैं वो हर जगह का पोल्यूशन करते हैं, एयर, वाटर, सॉइल, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस। एक एग्जांपल बताऊं, आप बोवेरा डाइक्लोफेन जानते हैं, हम लोग जानवरों को देते हैं, मरे हुए जानवर। अच्छा, बॉडी में जब भी हम कोई भी टॉक्सिक चीज, अल्कोहल, पॉइजन, मेडिसिन, ड्रग्स कुछ भी लेते हैं तो उसका डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन लीवर में होता है। लीवर में साइटोक्रोम P445, 448, 450 ये उसको डिटॉक्सिफाई करता है। अब ये जो डाइक्लोफेन है ये लीवर में ही जाके एक्यूमुलेट करता है। वल्चर्स मरे हुए जानवरों के लीवर को ही सबसे पहले खाते हैं। और 22 साल पहले अंतिम बार मैंने वल्चर देखे थे अपने गांव में। आई रिमेम्बर माई चाइल्डहुड, हम प्राइमरी में पढ़ने जाते थे, गांव में कोई भी जानवर मरता था, हजारों गिद्ध आते थे। मैं अपनी बेटियों को आंसर नहीं दे पाता हूं कि पापा वल्चर कैसे होते थे, कहाँ मिलते हैं, हमें देखना। हम जैसे डायनासोर के बारे में, हमारे बच्चे जो है हमसे वल्चर के बारे में पूछते। अभी एक गुड न्यूज आया है, हमारे पड़ोस के राज्य छत्तीसगढ़ में एक 22-23 गिद्ध का झुंड दिखा। हमें इमीडिएट एक्शन की जरूरत है। लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग, शॉर्ट टर्म प्लानिंग और स्टैंड प्लानिंग। तो ये जो आज का कार्यक्रम है वन अर्थ, तो एग्रीकल्चर में सिर्फ और सिर्फ जरूरत इस बात की है कि हम जो हार्मफुल केमिकल्स हैं उनके यूज को धीरे 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 मिनिमाइज करें और बेटर जो अल्टरनेटिव्स हैं उन पे जाएं, और हर विश्वविद्यालय, हर हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट जो हैं, अगर वो किसानों को बीच बीच में ट्रेंड करते रहें न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज, सेफर केमिकल्स के बारे में, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये हम लोग जो शिक्षाविद हैं, ये हमारा एक रियल कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा टुवर्ड्स द मदर अर्थ, नेचर को बचाने के लिए। साल भर में प्रकृति जितना हमको देती है, हम 6 महीने में यूज कर ले रहे हैं इस समय। अगले साल के जो रिसोर्सेस है वो हम इसी साल यूज कर रहे हैं। तो हमें कोशिश करना है धीरे 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 उस मुकाम पे पहुंचे कि जितना ये मदर अर्थ नेचर हमें साल भर में देता है, हम उसको साल भर के पहले ना कंज्यूम करें। इन्हीं बातों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं, और एक बार फिर से प्रोफेसर सची साहब को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने मुझे मौका दिया। कभी किसानों को ट्रेन करना हो उन सब में तो हम लोग यहाँ पे लाइव डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन भी करते हैं, ट्रेनिंग भी करते हैं, और हम चाहेंगे इग्नू देश का एक एजुकेशन के मामले में एक मुकुट है। और अभी सुबह से मेरे 2-3 फोन भी आ गए, सर वो इग्नू में हमें एडमिशन लेना कैसे होगा हमने कहा हम बता देंगे, मैडम से आप बात कर लें। तो बिल्कुल हम लोग आगे भी मिलकर काम करेंगे। और प्रोफेसर नागेश्वर राव सर, इनका सानिध्य तो प्रयागराज में मुझे मिला बहुत कई बार, और आज भी मौका मिला, तो आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू। ओवर टू सचिन मैम।
Thank you, sir. Your session was informative as well as very scary. आपने कृषि से जुड़े जो पर्यावरण के मुद्दे हैं वो स्पष्ट रूप से उजागर किए हैं, कैसे हमारी जलवायु को प्रभावित करते हैं, कैसे हमारा स्वास्थ्य प्रभावित होता है, और क्यों हमें ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से एवरग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन की ओर अग्रसर होना है। और इसमें जैसा अन्न वैसा मन ये कहा भी गया है, तो न केवल फिजिकल वेलबींग बल्कि मेंटल वेलबींग भी हमारी फूड से बहुत हद तक प्रभावित होती है। थैंक यू सो मच सर, दैट वाज रियली वेरी एनलाइटनिंग। The School of Interdisciplinary or Transdisciplinary Studies on the World Environment Day has organized a slogan writing and poster making competition for the learners of IGNOU, for employees and the children of employees. So we are thrilled to say that it was an enthusiastic participation. We got very catchy slogans which were very eye-openers also. The posters were also very beautiful, and it was very difficult to select the best one. However, we are eager to know the results and now request our director, Professor Shachi Shah Madam, to declare the results of both the competitions.
Thank you, Dr. Diksha. As Dr. Diksha has said, to sensitize and to create awareness among the IGNOU learners on World Environment Day, slogan competition and poster competition was organized. The theme was living sustainably in harmony with nature. We have got a very good response from all the learners. Until today morning, I was receiving the slogans, posters. Currently enrolled learner of IGNOU employees and children of IGNOU employee. We have received around 40 entries for English slogan, 30 entries for Hindi slogan, and total 45 entries were received for poster competition. The committee evaluated all the entries, and the best slogan English was awarded to Miss Monica Vikal, a PhD scholar of SOITS. Her slogan was "Live in nature with harmony and peace, not exploit it for money and ease." I congratulate Miss Monica Vikal for getting first prize in English slogan competition. The best Hindi slogan was awarded to Dr. Nikhil Kant, a PhD MGMT learner. His slogan was "प्रकृति के संग जीवन में लय है, प्रकृति की जय में हमारी जय है." Congratulations to Dr. Nikhil Kant. The best poster was awarded. The best poster was awarded to Miss Mrinmoy Ghosh, a learner of Certificate in Visual Art Painting, CVAP. I congratulate Miss Mrinmoy Roy and all the winners. Now, I take this opportunity to thank all the participants, including IGNOU employee who have very actively participated and make this competition a big success. And I also thank all our jury members for their efforts in evaluating the entries. Now, it is indeed an honor for me to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nageshwar Rao sir, who has always been instrumental and guiding pillar for us to deliver his presidential address and give us his blessing on this occasion. Vice Chancellor, sir, please.
Good morning to all of you. First of all, I congratulate all of you, including me, on this historic day, that is World Environment Day. Great occasion to discuss, deliberate, and also aware our young generation regarding its need and its importance. I specifically welcome our chief guest, Sujit Kumar Bajpayee ji, who is Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, spared his valuable time and enlightened all of us. The way he articulated the theme with the relevant statistics, that is quite important to all of us. And statistics clearly tells us that how the importance of this environment we can visualize in all spheres of our life. To my old friend, Dr. R.C. Mishra, I welcome him specifically to this program. He is kind enough to be with us today and also shared his valuable insights to our learners as well as our faculty also. Dr. Mishra chosen a simple theme, and that too the way he presented the theme, it is quite lucid and anyone can understand its significance. And that should be our process to go for the mass awakening in this area. I must also compliment the director who has taken this initiative to reach our young learners, young people also, because they are the ambassadors for the future. They are the people, if they are aware about the importance of the environment and its concerns, then it will percolate to other people and also to other walks of life. And that is why the competition which has been organized by the school, and right now she has announced the winners also. The winners also needs to be complimented, and they are the right people. They will become the brand ambassadors to show that environment is our prime concern. Environment is to be looked by us with greater care and caution. A small effort from our side in any area which is relevant to the environment, that is going to improve our lives in future. Because whatsoever we are doing right at this point of time, this will have its impact for future also. And that futuristic approach, that is very, very strategic and crucial to all of us. And the way this theme it was organized and the way it is being linked to the earth, that is very, very specific and also useful to all of us. I know that the school is already working hard. They have already got 3 programs in masters. And recently they have also decided to go for the translation of one of these programs to reach to the people in different states of the country. Because now the national education policy is focusing that we have to go for our materials in the regional languages. So we are also trying our best in this endeavor. And the School of Interdisciplinary Studies, especially in the field of environment, they have chosen the field of environment to go ahead in this direction. And if the material, it is being made available in a regional language, because we know that already IGNOU has got an initiative from 6th of January, wherein it's a Swayamprabha channel. It is being used to teach the undergraduate subjects of social sciences, sociology, the history, political science in the regional languages, that is mother tongue. Sociology, it is now being taught in Telugu, Malayalam, Tamil, Marathi, Odia, Punjabi, 12 languages. And that too, the sessions, they are live. And till this point of time, we have got more than 1,000 sessions. The archives, they can also be used, because now these subjects, they can be understood in their mother tongues also. So that is one way through which we are trying to reach to our learners in their mother tongue. Initially, this experiment we have made for the undergraduate programs. Now, the sooner we are going to improve its reach can further be extended to other programs also. So maybe the environment is one of the areas, at least wherever it is possible. We will also look into the areas, look into the languages, wherein we can also reach to the learners in their own mother tongue. And that is what the spirit of the national education policy is with us. Fortunately, we are having the 4 channels with us. And now we are extensively using those channels to reach to the learners. Now the learners, they can look at the contents at their home, switch on their TVs, and they will find that the lecture is going on in their mother tongue. Easy to comprehend, easy to understand. And environment is one of the areas where this sort of reach is very, very important, because it has got the social ramifications, social implications. The political implications are okay, but geographical implications, sustainability, all those issues, they will also be taken care of once we spread the message of the environmental concerns and its importance to our young generation. I must thank my chief guest as well as my old friend who have spared their valuable time with us. And they tried to highlight 1 or 2 areas which are of great significance to all of us. The proceedings of this workshop, it will be placed on our YouTube also, so that the reach to the learners, because we do have large number of learners. It's the largest university in terms of learners. 35 lakh learners are with us, plus 36 lakh alumni are also with us. It's a big family of 71 lakhs. So we try to reach to all of them. And any action, any awareness program which we initiate here, that is going to have this long reach. And once we are trying to reach, put the things in mother tongue, then the spread will be much, much higher. And that is the spirit. And for that, the contributions made by Bajpayee ji and Dr. Mishra, that is really appreciable. I, on behalf of the university, especially thank both of them for their benign presence and wonderful inputs which they have given to all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is because of your enthusiastic leadership, visionary ideas and guidance that we are able to organize such functions and do our bit towards environment protection and sustainable development. Thank you once again, sir. I now request Dr. Sushmita Bhaskar to propose formal vote of thanks.
Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Nageshwar Rao, sir, Chief Guest, Sri Sujit Kumar Bajpayee, sir, Guest of Honor, Professor Asri Mishra, Pro Vice Chancellors, Professor Satyakant ji, Professor R.P. Das ji, Professor Uma Kanjilal ma'am, Professor Sumitra Kukreti ma'am, Dr. Shrikant Mohapatra, Dr. Manroop Singh Meena, Registrar Dr. Alok Chaube, Directors of all schools, divisions, units and the regional centers of IGNOU, faculty, staff and learners. Namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this online national seminar on Only One Earth to commemorate the World Environment Day 2022. I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Nageshwar Rao Sir, to take out time from his busy schedule and to grace the event and also share his valuable advice. I also thank our Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Satyakamji, for his encouragements and continuous support to the school and the SOITs. I thank our Chief Guest, Sri Sujit Kumar Bajpai, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, for his excellent lecture and deliberations on the environmental issues and how we can live sustainably with nature. I thank our guest of honor, Professor R.C. Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Mahakaushal University, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, who honored this webinar with his gracious presence and excellent deliberations on organic farming practices and sustainable lifestyles, green revolution, and the impacts of the chemical fertilizers on the environment as well as on human health. I also extend my gratitude to all the Pro Vice Chancellors, Professor R.P. Das, Professor Satyakam, Professor Uma Kanchilal, Professor Sumitra Kukreti, Dr. Shrikant Mohapatra, Dr. Manroop Singh Meena, the Registrar, Directors of all schools, divisions, units, regional centers of IGNOU for sparing their valuable time. I thank the Director SOITS, Professor Shachi Shah, and all the faculty members and staff of SOITS for extending their full support for this online seminar. Mr. Rajesh Sharma is also thanked for all support. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants of the seminar for their patient and for their presence and also their patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sushmita. So, with the permission of Vice Chancellor Sir and Chief Guest, shall we close the seminar, sir? Thank you for your, thank you for joining us and very excellent deliberations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Shachi ji, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nageshwar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.